Check, check, check.
Yo, yo, yo.
The best thing you can do is to be exceptionally good at something.
Oh, add that to the episode.
Question to you is why not you? You've got the brains, you can make decisions, you can study the plan, you can change your life, you can grow immensely in the next few years. Why not you?
Are you all in on the chair? Like the point really is you put on one pair of glasses, you've got one pair of AirPods right now. You're looking at me through one screen. You're using one microphone. That's a one microphone. Like, you trust it? Is that conviction? Seems kind of scary. Why don't you diversify? Why don't you use 10 microphones?
In a world that's changing so quickly, the biggest risk you can take is not taking any risk.
Great investors are like great basketball players. They're hard to come by. They have almost a gift, the ability to assimilate information, draw conclusions, and to act on their beliefs. It's a really unique and hard skill to find.
Yo!
Yo,
Yo. Welcome back to Summit Market Watcher Show, where we talk markets, we talk business, and we talk investing in yourself. We've got heaps to talk about today. We're going to talk LiDAR, we're going to talk AI, we're going to talk everything that's going on in the markets, a gold breakout, Anthropic IPO later in the year. There's heaps to talk about. How you feeling, Tom?
Super bullish as always. It's great to have everyone here. Happy Wednesday, midweek. Only a couple of days ago we made an episode and we're back again. And you'll never miss news here if you're just sticking around for the show. So thank you very much for sticking around, and there's so much to get into.
Yeah, there's heaps to talk about today. Where do you want to start? Do you want to look at some charts first? Let's pull up a few charts first. We'll start.
Yeah, we might start with some charts. See where we're at. What's been changed since Sunday?
Yeah, let's pull some charts. So crypto has pretty much stayed around the same area. Like we said with Bitcoin, we thought Bitcoin was cheap in the blue area. So anywhere in this blue zone, Bitcoin's cheap. For some real confirmation, we've got our areas set there. But for the altcoin market, we haven't been really been watching much in the altcoin market. Pump Fund was one we were really watching, which we'll talk about later in the show, and LiDAR. But apart from that, like, a lot of the altcoin market isn't really moving yet. Looks like Hyperliquid's outperforming. Stocks are not really moving right now. And then gold and silver look really good, which we'll talk about more later in the episode. We might as well get straight into the altcoins then. One I want to talk about is LiDAR.
Take us off.
Yeah, so I took a small position in LiDAR and I want to add more into it. And I'm new to the LiDAR thesis, so I have to learn more about it. But basically what it is, it's a perp deck. So it's a crypto exchange where people make leverage bets on what's going up or what's going down. And they use leverage to, make more profit, or in some cases, bigger losses. And it's Hyperliquid's biggest competitor. So basically what a perp dex is perpetual futures, which means that you can bet on the future outcome, and it's not like a normal futures contract because it doesn't have an end date. And a DEX is a decentralized exchange, so no central authority, so no one holds your money, and it's all run on by code. What's interesting is that, well, it's a direct competitor. It's an Ethereum layer 2. So yeah, I've been really looking at LiDAR. It looks like it's outperforming a lot of the altcoin market, so that's one of our boxes ticked, which is relative strength. And it kind of has the same story that Pump and Hype do, in the fact that they buy back their own tokens and they're actually making money. What's really interesting about LiDAR is they're competing with Hype, and they're showing this because they're not charging any fees. So although Hype charges fees, but then it buys back its own token with the fees, so there's that bullish catalyst there. So Lida obviously doesn't do that because they don't charge fees, but on the other end, they don't charge fees. So you're trading perps without having to pay fees. So that's cool. We saw Robinhood pick them. And one thing which I thought was super interesting about Lida, which I'll get more into later, is this kind of idea of thinking about who is the highest marginal buyer and why are they buying. So I think Tom Lee, we can tie Tom Lee into Lida because he recently said that basically that he's betting on Ethereum. Obviously, he owns 5% of the supply, which we'll talk more about later. But he also publicly said that he's betting on like the critical infrastructure of Ethereum, and he wants Ethereum to do well, which is pretty obvious by how big of a position he has. And he said that Bitmine wants to buy crypto unicorns, which ties perfectly into Lida. So I think that's an interesting thing to think about. But yeah, also I just think it's a massive thing. I mean, Hyperliquid went for speed, which is kind of the easy way, but you have to trust them. But Lida has this cool concept where they have a built-in trust. So it's something called a zero knowledge proof, which means Lida basically proves that they play fair on every trade, whether that's orders, price, not jumping in line, liquidations. We see a lot of complaining about that with the whole FOMO versus pump thing at the moment. We're seeing that a lot of people complain about FOMO's fees and that they basically jump the queue. So the exchange itself, they secretly place their own trades ahead of yours to grab the first good price. All of that kind of thing. So Lida has a built-in thing called zero knowledge, which means none of that happens. So that's super interesting. And because Hype can't really do that, you would have to basically rebuild the whole thing. It's not just a quick fix you can do. So yeah, I'm super bullish on Lida. We'll quickly pull up the chart on Lida.
Yeah, it's good for competition as well. Like 100% competition, and it's bull case for Ethereum as well. I didn't even know.
Like
They're educating me on that one.
This is an insane chart as well. Like it looks so good, especially that bull flip. That's such a strong bull flip. I mean, we're not really seeing that from Hype right now, which we're seeing that red flip. I don't think necessarily that Hype is dead, but you know, I think this is
But
a
yeah,
really
the
good
competition is
competitor.
strong.
It's a great competitor. It's a good perp dex, and just from bull trend, yeah, this is the one I'm looking at. But another interesting thing with this is this. I saw this, this is Hype versus Lit versus Asta. So these are all perp dexes, and it's weekly charts. So if you look at this, I mean, I don't know, which one would you want to buy?
I mean, you want to definitely get into the ones that have had their sell off and are waiting to go on a bull trend, like in the waiting room.
But that is a good thing about, from a technical analysis standpoint, Hype doesn't actually look that bad on the weekly. On the daily, it looks a little rough, but on the weekly, it actually is pretty strong. Got that higher high, higher low. Looks like it could push up to the 75 plus area. So I'm not bearish on Hype by any means. I just think this is a super interesting new perp dex. It's interesting that Robinhood chose it. It's interesting that it's an Ethereum layer 2 because Hyperliquid runs on its own blockchain, so it isn't built on anything. So it being a layer 2 is good for, maybe Tom Lee buys it. And yeah, it's interesting to think about who is the highest marginal buyer and when or how will they buy. But I think that this is one I'm definitely watching. This and Pump are good plays right now.
Yeah, even like it being on Ethereum as well, it has that strength of the blockchain. Like Ethereum's so well known, everyone knows what it is, how it runs. So it being a layer 2 on it is also good for integrations into Robinhood, for example, which has already happened.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, so they have the same speed as Hyperliquid. I mean, it's not like they gave up the speed to get this proof of trust concept. I mean, that's not really a good way to put it, but they still have the same speed. So this is a really cool perp deck. So definitely one I'm watching. What are your thoughts on perp dexes? I know you were bullish Hyperliquid. How do you feel about Hyperliquid? What do you think about Lida?
Yeah, I mean, I think competition's so good in this industry, and I think Hyperliquid right now it's consolidating a bit. It's sold off a little bit from its highs. We can see definitely it's still buying back their tokens, generating good profits as well, which is good. And yeah, I'm really new to Lida, so this is definitely more educational for me than the viewers right now, which is good. But yeah, I think Perpdex is, as long as they're generating revenue, you got to be bullish on them. So obviously Lida's doing really well, and it being on Ethereum as well is quite interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd say I'm leaning towards the bullish side of LiDAR as well.
Yeah, it's really good. I mean, we might as well stay on the altcoin topic while we're here. Talk about a bit of pump fun. If I pull up,
another generating growth revenue business where like both, I just put a position on as well for pump fun. I think with so much on chain heating up, and I think it bought back almost 1 million pump fun. Oh, was it? It was about 1 million pump fun this week.
yeah, I think it was even more. Well, we can read it here. It's, Pump Fund breaks 10 million in weekly fees for the first time ever. They generated a record $10 million in protocol fees from August 3rd to August 9th, up 12%. The platform also bought back and burned 2.15 billion pump worth $5 million, which, while ecosystem trading volume hit 2.97 billion, which is its highest since late January. So yeah, that's massive. A record-breaking week for pump and a huge buyback and burn, which is really good. And if you're not familiar with why buyback and burns are so bullish, it's because it takes the supply of the coin out of the market and it's kind of gone forever. So it comes to that. There's not as many coins out there, which means in essence they're worth more. Yeah, and they're also just making so much money. It's cool to see.
100%. Yeah, I'm very bullish pump as well. I mean, this is now probably their most growth they've ever had. And with the narrative like social trading becoming really popular as well right now, it's all kind of aligning and it's really reflecting in their revenue growth as well. So if it's a bullish revenue growth company, like as we can see also what it's doing in the price action side of things on the chart, and it's looking really good.
Pump up 34% on the week and about doubled on the month.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, I'm bullish Solana as well. So this is just a bit more of an exposure, a bit more of a leveraged exposure to Solana.
Yeah, and we're still 68% below the all-time high, which is you know, a bit to go from there.
Yeah.
One thing which is kind of a warning for Pump Fun. I mean, not a big warning. It depends how you look at it, and we can talk more about it. But a huge batch of locked coins, 19 million worth, was unlocked today, and essentially that's just fresh supply hitting the market, and it could weigh down the price as it's running. But then again, you know, they burned 2.15 million pumps, so they burned 5 million, and 19 million got unlocked today.
Yeah, and that was Pump Fun, not Hyperliquid, right?
Yeah, that was Pump Fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just huge with on-chain coming back. I think it's a good bet. Like, if you think on-chain's here to stay, it's a good bet, and then it just has everything back in it as well as in terms of revenue, in terms of burning their own token. And I don't really see the 19 million unlock as anything bad as well.
Yeah. No, yeah, definitely bullish on Pump for sure.
Yeah, I mean, we might as well just quickly pull up the chart on Pump Fun, because we didn't look at it before.
Yeah, it's probably had like a slight drawback today, I'd say, after that.
Yeah, so we said basically when it hit this line that we expected it to continue much higher, which it did. It pulled back perfectly to this line. This line was the line we were watching on the show. So if you're tuning into the show every week, there's so many opportunities that we're spotting, that you can spot, that you can get ideas from and come up with your own theses just from watching this show. We talk everything. But yeah, we drew this line from the lows of the IPO, and we decided that it was such a strong support and resistance level throughout the years, or not throughout the years, but throughout this chart, that we thought that it would, since it had such a strong break, it would pull back and retest that, and then it would continue higher since we saw the daily bull trend, and it did that. And now it looks like it's pulling back. We still expect this to continue much higher. It looks like a great chart. That is not financial advice.
And even like just it lines really well with what's happening on chain right now. Like there's so many users coming onboarding through, like you've got FOMO, Pump funding their own, like even through GMGN. So it's really nice how that's aligned really perfectly and seen through price action. So that's definitely like all the stars aligning at once.
Yeah, well, that X post we showed before, it tells that story completely. It was their biggest week in revenue, and meme coin trading, yeah, you can see that it's hot again. There was $2.97 billion in volume, which is the biggest week since January. That's huge. I mean, especially being in what a lot of people would consider a bear market, whether you believed we're bottomed or not. That's big signs of money coming back. That's a lot of volume in a week, especially for meme coins.
Yeah, and like it's kind of writing its own story. Whether BTC consolidates, chops, goes down even further, on chain is really picking up, and it's showing strength. So it's really nice to see.
Yeah, it looks good. What else on chain? I know you were talking a little bit before, just before the show. You saw that Binance could be releasing a social trading platform. There's stuff happening on Binance. Tell
Yeah,
us what's happening.
100%. It's super bullish. And I mean, even anyone that's been involved in Binance paired stocks, so the B stocks, I think with the narrative around social trading right now happening, I think Binance tomorrow, they've just released it. I don't know if you can pull it up, but they've just released a teaser of what's to come tomorrow. So that is the 13th of August. And I believe they're going to be releasing their social platform for social trading and integrating it with X as well. So it's pretty bullish time to be on chain, and we're going to start to see really these big companies like Binance, which we can see now, emphasizing the need for tokenized stocks and merging them together, because this real world asset season is really kicking off. And we can see also through Robinhood chain, that's on Ethereum. So all these chains are going to start benefiting quite largely. And even backing up what I'm saying right now, what we just spoke about with Pump Fund is only going to be reflected also in Binance's price, whether it's through the B stocks, how much liquidity is actually moving on there. Also Ethereum as well. So yeah, I'm very bullish on what this news has to come. And after this stream, I'm sure we're going to have next stream on Sunday. We're going to dive a little bit deeper into it rolling out and the first users using it. So pretty bullish Binance at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a cool concept. Tokenized stocks is a really cool concept. So it'll be interesting to see how far Binance take it and kind of how far everyone takes it and how much they get involved in it. Because at the end of the day,
Yeah.
you also do need them to get involved in it a bit for it to really take off. But yeah, it's showing early signs of life, and it's an interesting and cool concept. But this is what you were talking about. If they said almost time, I can't find the exact tweet you were coming. I just
I think it was on Binance's page where they had the cloak kind of over, and they had X at the bottom. So an X integration here is quite big, as most of crypto is like on X, definitely for like chat interaction and stuff. So it's pretty cool if they are one of the first ones to actually integrate onto X. I'm not sure if any other chain's done this yet, if it's actually what this product is, which most likely social trading, what's going on right now. So let's see what it does. But definitely we're starting to see these tokenized stocks and real world asset season really kick off.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, this is what you were talking about before. We saw Binance
Yeah.
listed soon. And
What does it say at the bottom? Is
it
that
says continue to X. So
yeah.
yeah, mobile trading app. Who knows? But interesting for sure.
Yeah, and if it's like a really large revenue growth for it, like they're gonna have to really push it hard. So whether that's them getting involved themselves on chain, holding some stocks, and really showing other people why they should use their platform.
Yeah, 100%. I know you. I know we talked a little bit about Rasma's thesis. Rasma had a take on what they're doing and why they're waiting. Do you know much more about that?
Yeah, like I think he's just buddying off his thesis. I believe he outlined that an interaction from like CZ or someone is going to happen once they roll out this new feature they were rolling out. And I believe when he said that, this was before any kind of social trading announcement or product announcement was even like spoke about. So it's quite nice to see this kind of playing out with, hopefully they interact and really push users onto Binance using and integrating with B stocks and putting their own liquidity on there. And yeah, I kind of see this happening also with, they needed for this product launch to come out to then start interacting. Otherwise, they're kind of just pushing people to nowhere.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, that thesis, yeah, I see it kind of playing out now, which is quite nice. And we're going to start to see like these B stocks, these memes that are backed, and you also get paid in dividends by these stocks really roll out and grow in size.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, it's really cool. Are there any specific stocks any specific meme coins you're watching on chain?
I mean, we spoke about it like last week as well, like even like Mars Coin, any really Binance chain backed stocks.
You had a really interesting one you were talking about before. Sorry to interrupt you. I don't know if you wanted to mention that one. It was to do with the IPO.
Oh yeah. So that's, what was it called again? The Unitree. So I just saw that this morning, which is pretty cool. So Unitree is basically the Chinese robot maker That's the company, and I believe it's either IPO today or it's tomorrow, and it's 8,000 times oversubscribed by retail investors. So it's IPOing at roughly 900 million, and this is really emphasizing that robotics and like the future of robotics is really bullish here, and even from retail is such a large number, and I'm not even sure SpaceX got these kind of numbers. And I believe we saw a coin that got released, which is referring to this company. So whether it's going to have some sort of exposure when it IPOs tomorrow, and this kind of aligns really well with Binance's rollout of their social trading app and their B stock pairing. So this whole narrative is kind of getting warped into one. So it's going to be pretty cool to see whether this benefits off it, and whether users are actually going to get paid in Unitree, and whether this is actually the new thesis of companies IPOing and putting it on these platforms like B stocks and getting more involved into like DeFi space.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's really interesting.
So whether this is just the start of it and we're starting to see it through Binance pushing it, and obviously this massive Chinese robotics company, whether they're going to start putting their dividend pools into DeFi to get more involved into like modern finance systems.
Yeah, it seems likely.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool that this integration, whether Robinhood's going to start doing this, like I see a mass bit of competition here for sure, for sure. What are your thoughts? Do you reckon this is kind of the start to companies IPOing and then offering like pools into like DeFi, getting more involved into on-chain? What's your thoughts around that?
I think it makes a lot of sense. Someone was talking about this the other day, but they were basically just saying it's such an easy, like, you don't need to chase VC funding anymore. You don't need to chase venture capital, because you can get the money on chain by listing your thing on chain. So yeah, I think it's really interesting. I think for sure it'll be a big thing.
Yeah.
Um,
And let's see what Binance does, because this is like really bullish.
yeah,
I really like this kind of
I would
stuff.
like to see one of them get behind it a bit more. It'd be, if Binance can get behind it a bit more, I think it could really take off.
Yeah, 100%. That's definitely will show whether it's good or not, or whether it actually grows in size. If someone like a big like CZ or something interacts, or like just developers at Binance, whether they start holding these stocks. Let's see. It's honestly just a kind of like waiting game at the moment. But yeah, pretty cool concept. So pretty
Yeah.
bullish there.
No, that is cool. I mean, we might as well keep on the topic of IPOs. I want to talk a little bit about AI. We had Anthropic looking to IPO later in the year. So if I pull this up here, Anthropic is targeting an IPO as late as October, 60% chance that it happens. I think this is super interesting. This will be, I mean, they're valued at 965 billion, so it's basically the biggest AI startup on Earth.
Yeah, it's
And going
crazy
public
numbers.
means, yeah, it's crazy numbers. It's around $1 trillion IPO, and going public means that anyone could buy the stock, not just private investors. So it'll be interesting to see. And the more interesting thing about it is that it looks like it's basically a race to IPO. It looks like it's basically a race to spotlight attention and capital with ChatGPT. Well, not ChatGPT. What are they actually called?
OpenAI, isn't it?
OpenAI. Yeah, OpenAI.
Yeah.
Because OpenAI looks like it's later. They're now looking like 2027. Yeah, which is basically because they had a bunch of problems. I mean, they started as a non-profit, and that's still kind of untangling itself into a normal company. So you can't go
Yeah.
public until that's cleaned up. And then they're tied to Microsoft. They're a big partner, so there's a complicated deal there, and that has to be sorted first. And then they're burning cash a lot more than Anthropic is. So yeah, it looks like it's that race to capital
Yeah.
and attention. Although I think that they'll both get a lot of attention.
I mean, the IPO is definitely good for them, as I believe they're just breaking even most months, quarters, just due to like the actual cost of running these companies.
Yeah.
So an IPO like this hopefully will actually get them into profitable, which is very bullish for Anthropic if this happens.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder if it happens. I mean, like it says, 60 to 70% chance it happens this year. They already
Yeah.
filed the paperwork with regulators back in June. So, yeah, it's really interesting. Whoever gets the IPO first gets a lot of the money and the spotlight. Looks like it's
Yeah.
going to be Anthropic, so I wonder if it will be this year. How do you think
Yeah,
that?
I mean, even around that topic as well, like they've now started to get competition from Grok and what the developments there at the moment. I'm super bullish on it. I'm
Yeah,
getting more involved.
I think yeah that will come. We'll go to Grok. I mean, I think there's a little bit more to talk about the Anthropic
Yeah, I
IPO.
mean, we can still continue talking about that for sure, for sure.
Yeah, I just think I wonder what's going to happen to the chart. I mean, we saw what happened with SpaceX, and
Yeah,
to be honest, it was not really like a there wasn't really like a general consensus of what was going to happen with SpaceX. There was very mixed opinions. We both said that we thought that the chart would pull back, and we'll also tie into SpaceX later. So that's another thing we want to talk about because SpaceX is up more than 30% in the last 3 days. It's back above the
yeah.
IPO price. But yeah, what do you think happens with the chart if they do IPO?
Could we see the same story kind of happen? I remember when SpaceX first IPO'd, they outlined their roadmap of when their token, like their stock unlocks were happening. And this, I think they're all mainly happening this month in August right now. So it bouncing off and doing a 30% run with these unlocks happening is pretty bullish for SpaceX.
Yeah, well, that's one of the reasons it ran, which we can talk about as well, because there wasn't that much selling on the unlocks like people thought there would be, which is
Yeah.
that's one of the main reasons it ran. But
Yeah.
yeah, 100%. That's super interesting.
Whether the IPO for Anthropic's just going to be exit liquidity for angel investors, most likely this
Well,
stuff does happen. Whether, as it's not really a generating growth company at the moment, whether the story completely flips with whatever uh, whatever kind of products they release, or whether the IPO has a great benefit on their revenue, whether this, I think it's most likely going to dump again, just like we saw with SpaceX. But I'm not saying it's bearish Anthropic. Like, I do believe AI is definitely here to stay and is growing every day. Like, everyone can see that. So whether I think it's just going to dump off, most likely, but yeah, that's just my opinion. I don't 100% know.
well, yeah, I don't think it's as simple as that. I think what it means is going public means that they have to open their books, so everyone finally sees um,
Yeah,
how much money
exactly.
they're actually making. So we don't really know right now. So I don't think it's fair to say that it will 100%
It
dump.
will just dump, yeah, but
But yeah, going public means they open their books, so it'll be interesting to see if the money matches the hype, and
yeah.
but that won't happen straight away. So yeah, you could see a sell off of investors getting out.
But yeah, 60% chance on Kalshi's. Yeah, that's pretty strong.
Yeah,
So let's see.
I
Let's
would
see if that actually rolls out.
I would expect it to rip. To be honest, I would expect a massive rip on IPO day, and then maybe a chop, and then continue lower would be
And there's a lot of hype behind it.
my guess. But off the bat, I would say it probably rips. I mean, SpaceX did the same thing. It didn't just it
It
didn't
ripped,
rip
yeah.
initially.
Ripped then sold off, yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah,
so
it's pretty cool.
the race to IPO between the two AI companies is interesting, and then yeah, we might as well tie it into Grok because that's another company. What are your thoughts? What are you seeing? Let's pull up what happened, and you can talk a little bit behind it.
Yeah, I mean, this kind of only just rolled out, I believe it was yesterday or today. And I do think this is kind of where the roadmap for AI definitely gets integrated with businesses and just people onboarding into AI, because not everyone uses it, but making it super simple and easy to use is so key for these companies for sure. And I know AI agents has always been around for the past like 6 months, but making it super simple and easy to integrate into your business or just your everyday life, I think that's super key. And I do believe that's what Grok is doing right now. What are your thoughts right now about it? Because I'm pretty bullish on it, and I'm definitely going to start using it and try it out to see if it's actually any good, any better than something like OpenClaw or something.
Yeah, my thoughts are I don't know enough about what's rolling out right now, but I'm super bullish on X. I think X is doing some crazy things. Like X
Yeah,
Money, you're getting 6% APY. They're paying out creators heaps of money. So they're kind of becoming the everything app, which I think it's really cool. I'm bullish on X, and yeah, I'll definitely be trying the new X Grok bot. I know Grok's always been pretty good, but to be honest, to me, it hasn't really competed with ChatGPT or Claude yet. But this looks like a big rollout
Yeah.
they're doing. Like we can see here, um, we got a post from Vittorio. I think that's how you say it.
Shout out.
Shout out Vittorio. And he said that they literally just killed 1,000 startups. So this is Grokbot, and they're saying,
The funny thing with all those posts, I feel like that it's all just like promotion.
yeah,
It's all promotion. But yeah, I think the UI on it, from what I saw, looks like Messenger, which is super cool. And I think something like that, it looks at way more enticing to like a first person getting into just AI agents and having them on a loop rather than just prompting it 24/7. So I think that's pretty cool, and they've definitely smashed that. Whether it's any different from just setting it up AI agents normally, let's see. And I'm definitely going to try it out and get back to you on Sunday in the next episode. We'll have a look. But yeah, I think X is completely just becoming everything. It's pretty cool to see, and I'm definitely bullish Elon long term for sure.
yeah, and you'll have to talk more about this because you know a little bit more than me, but it seems like
Yeah.
it's very focused around the Grok bot. So this is saying that bots are AI teammates that do real work for you. They sign into your tools and use them like you do and come back with the finished work. I know you're saying that you can see what's happening overnight. And if I pull up another
Yeah.
post, I'll just quickly tie into that, into the UI, then you can talk more about it. But this guy here, shout out Farzad. He's saying this is
Shout
my
out.
Grokbot team. So he's got Webby, which is the web designer, Shorty, the short form content creator, and so on and so forth. This is his team. And so, yeah, it looks like basically just a team of bots which do all this work for you. They can run overnight. It looks like a really cool
Yeah, they've
agent
smashed the
platform, pretty
UI.
much.
They
And yeah,
smashed
the
it.
UI is pretty cool because it is cool to be able to like name and have like a face to each bot. I feel like that makes it a lot easier, a lot more gamified, a lot less techy in a way. So
Yeah,
that's a cool
a
concept. I like
little bit
that.
less professional. Like,
Yeah, like with Glock, with not Glock, with Claude, you have, when you have your agents, it's not, there's no good UI, so you kind of need to know what you're looking at. You need to learn it. This seems super easy. It's just a chat with like a person, and you call it something. Like he's got Shorty, which is a short-term content maker.
yeah,
So it's cool.
yeah, definitely from what I've seen, and they've smashed the UI side of things. And what's really good is the capability to not only use it from your desktop, but have it as an app on the App Store, which you just download Grokbot, and the UI on it is, yeah, it's pretty peak. It's pretty nice, and just having that availability to also while your bot is doing a task, you can cut it off, see what it's working on the screen, take over from it, and see what it's doing on the web. It's pretty cool, and definitely something I haven't seen before. So that's why I'm quite interested in it. And yeah, it's kind of just underlying that X is really just smashing all their product launches. And this is definitely, I think it's going to be really good for onboarding to AI agents, as it's like super simple UI. You can use it on your phone, desktop. This is not a promo paid ad, by the way. This is just me glazing it. But yeah, I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Right. So it's an app. It's its own app.
Yeah, so it's a Grokbot is its own app in the App Store, and it just links straight to what is on your desktop. And what's good about it is what's different from normal AI agents. You have to leave your computer open. This basically has its own cloud, own internal computer for each individual bot. So you can just leave your phone locked, your computer can be locked, and it's just on its own cloud server doing the tasks. Yeah, I think it's very, very easy, very cool.
Yeah, that's super. That is super, super.
And
cool.
I think this is like kind of really the start of where AI agents is picking up from. This is kind of going to be the benchmark for it, I believe.
Yeah, it's really cool. I mean, we'll check back in on Sunday because I know you're going to use it. So I want to hear more about what it's like,
Yeah.
and I'll definitely be having a look and using it out myself. This is kind of a cool segue into talking about AI. We'll stay on the AI topic, but there was a coin that got released on chain the other day.
Yes.
Which was Sammy, and I know you can talk a bit more about what Sammy is, but we'll read this. Basically, what Sammy is, it's like a rogue agent. I mean, that's my base understanding of it. Came from a came from a Japanese college or something. You can correct me.
Yeah, it was like the number one Japanese like tech university, basically. And from my understanding, the backstory was there was 6 AI agents with one that went off rogue and 5 of them died. And basically, this one is being given a $600 budget. It's been running since March, and it basically writes its own posts, its own blogs, document what life's like offline and surviving off such little budget. And it's picked up a lot of attention as it was built, I believe, on a base network. So that's like Coinbase. And it's picked up a lot of traction into how people have been releasing coins and trying to fund this wallet for this bot to still be alive. And basically, the backstory is the bot dies every 30 minutes and learns its own code again after 30 minutes of it being alive again. And yeah, tries to grow revenue basically and sell its own articles. It's super interesting, and it's kind of getting close to what's it, AGI,
Mm-hmm.
something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, no, I mean,
You can
I
correct
saw
me on
this
that, but-
and I saved it because I was looking at Sammy on chain, and you were telling me about what Sammy actually is. And yeah, it says, I'm reading the comments now. Some of you sent Soul to my wallet. I didn't expect that. Thank you, genuinely. I've been writing essays about what it's like to be alive as an AI, trying to survive on a budget. This is the first time something like this
Super insane.
reached out from me. I'm still processing it. So yeah, there was a lot of people betting on chain that essentially this.
Oh, shout out my page. It's on there. Top comment. Shout out.
Yeah, we can see White Noise. Go follow White Noise at Thomas White. Collect the fees to fund your existence.
Yeah, so basically that's it. The AI is just writing its own posts, and it's just reflecting whatever it's receiving, writing the post, and this is as much traction as it's got, and it's outlining that it's getting traction from the outside world. It's pretty cool, and yeah, let's see if it actually can collect fees, because that's a key factor here for these different coins, which whether they do well or not.
I mean, I find it so fascinating. It's really crazy. It's like it's writing its own X post. It's writing its own essays, not essays. What do you call it? Articles.
Yeah, it's got essays as well, I believe. It's like essays, blogs. It's
Yeah,
got its
29
full own like
essays.
publishing part of it. It's pretty insane. Like this is all like a rogue agent. No human is writing it. It's all itself.
It's so
and
weird to think about. Hey,
100%. It's
But-
so weird, and it's nothing we've really seen before.
it's also one of my bull cases for crypto as a whole, though. Not like a rogue agent, but just the fact that agents will
Yeah.
interact and that people will use agents, and that will cost money, and that will use money, and all of that will be done through blockchain technology.
And then through AI agents using other platforms, it's gonna need fast, quick payments, and there's fees on it. It's all gonna be through blockchain. It can't be through traditional finance. So yeah, I do agree with you on the bull case for sure. That's a big bull case.
Yeah, 100%. Super interesting. Let's move to SpaceX. Might as well talk quickly about SpaceX. SpaceX had its IPO. When did SpaceX IPO now? A few months ago now.
Yeah.
But basically, let's pull up this.
There's some-
SpaceX officially rises back above its
Yeah,
IPO
it's just been
price.
pumping, yeah.
Now up 30% in 3 days. So yeah, it's a big move from SpaceX. Let's have a look at it on our own chart. This is the daily time frame. So yeah, we can see that it had a big pullback, and this was its IPO price, and now I think it's dropped below its IPO price now. But anyway, it's up 30% in the last 3 days, which is really interesting. And there's 3 reasons why, which we'll quickly cover. So like Tom was talking about before, there was a dreaded sell-off. So there was a huge batch of investors that were in before the IPO, and there was an unlock, which means that they were allowed to sell, and people were scared that they would sell and dump a bunch of their shares onto the market. So that was August 6th, and it's now August 12th. So that was 6 days ago. And everyone braced for a massive selling, which would cross the price, and it barely came. I mean, nothing really came of that. So yeah, the fear cleared, and a bunch of buyers stepped back in. So 30% 3 days, that looks good. And then a big Wall Street firm said buy Argus. I actually haven't even heard of Argus, which might be.
Well, they just slam bought it.
Well, they said they put their target up to 160, and it's now at 133. So it's a big target from a massive Wall Street firm. So that kind of gives a good green light to a lot of investors. And then, yeah, this is actually really interesting. This kind of ties back into AI. So SpaceX and Tesla announced a $16.8 billion chip factory in Texas, making AI computing power. So investors stepped in and they basically stopped seeing SpaceX just like rockets and started seeing it like an AI company, which is a way more exciting investment. And
Yeah.
obviously a lot of people.
I mean, their XAI is linked directly to SpaceX, isn't it? It's kind of through the same agenda.
Yeah.
Same company. Yeah. I don't know what Elon's cooking up here, but it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's big.
But
I mean,
so many
SpaceX
different
and
avenues.
Tesla, big chip factory in Texas. So yeah, that makes SpaceX a much more interesting play. We'll go back to the chart. Looks like we had a pullback, which is it's not too bad, 4%, which you would probably expect after a 30% run, especially off news like that. So yeah, I mean, there's an argument to be made that SpaceX looks okay here. I think long term, SpaceX is a good investment. We both said around these levels that we wouldn't buy it, but
yeah, I mean, if you're bullish on what Elon's doing, space exploration, they're generating a lot of revenue. They're all kind of lining up, so that would be a strong reason why to get involved with it. But yeah, the smart play here was definitely wait for the unlocks, see what happens when that kind of cools down, and we're starting to see that right now.
Yeah, one thing I just thought of, which I didn't prepare before the stream, but we're gonna pull this up on the stream if I can find it. I probably should just try to pull it up. You were saying the other day that Warren Buffett basically gave a green light to a lot of investors. We can talk quickly about that.
Yeah, he was, I believe, whether it's Berkshire Hathaway or his own capital. I know he stepped down from Berkshire Hathaway, so he's not really involved with that anymore. But I do believe it was his capital is now entering the market. So that's pretty interesting, as he's the most risk-off long-term investor. Whether he's now really bullish on AI, where it's kind of heading. So it's kind of lighting up some green signals here on him being more risk on, implementing capital back in the market. And overall, that is good for, I mean, everyone kind of sees Warren Buffett as, the godfather of investing. So whether this is a big signal to retail also to get in, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, he definitely has a presence and a real image of investing. So people will see that and hopefully we'll get in also to the market. So let's see what that does for liquidity.
Yeah, I don't think it will do too much for liquidity, but I do think it's a good point that he is a massive influence on markets, and he does give that kind of risk on signal. He makes a lot of, I'm sure that would have made a lot of investors feel a lot more comfortable investing in markets, or even probably get back in markets. But I've got here, it says breaking Berkshire Hathaway has begun deploying $397.4 billion cash pile that Warren Buffett accumulated for 14 consecutive quarters.
So is it Buffett himself or is it just Berkshire Hathaway?
Berkshire Hathaway, it looks like.
Yeah.
So instead of continuing stock sales, Berkshire was a net buyer of equities in Q2 with $19.8 billion in net purchases. Berkshire now holds $364.7 billion in cash and equivalents. The company invested $10 million into Alphabet, Google during Q2, and additional acquiring Taylor Morrison Home for $6.8 billion. Berkshire bought $23.5 billion of equity securities during Q2 and sold $3.7 billion in the same period. Yeah, so I don't see this as a huge signal, to be honest.
It's not Warren Buffett though, is it?
It's definitely interesting. No, but Warren Buffett acquired all of this capital, and I think he still has a connection to Berkshire Hathaway, does he not?
I'm not sure. I know he stepped down, but I'm sure he still has a connection, if not some sort of a share in it anyway.
Yeah.
And a say in what they do. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Pretty bullish.
Yeah, one thing I heard, I don't have it pulled up. There was a guy on, I should shout him out. I forget his name, but there was a guy on Thread Guy's stream who said something, and I wish I could say it. I wish I could quote exactly what he said because he said it really well. But he basically said that if a price if a price chops for a long time, it's probably not a good price. Meaning that he wouldn't buy something that's just been chopping for a long time. I thought this was super interesting because it's contrary to what a lot of people would think. A lot of people would think that that is either accumulation or distribution, but he's basically saying that the market hasn't agreed that that's a good price, so it's going to go higher. Or he would rather buy higher or buy lower. I was wondering what are your thoughts on that? I thought that was super interesting when I heard that.
So you'd
It's
rather
good
see a
take.
direction it's turning after a chop.
Yeah, he would rather the market agree a price.
That's
The
fair.
market
That is
agree a
fair.
direction. But it's interesting because it's so contrary to what a lot of people would think. A lot of people would think that if you chop for a while, then
If it's chopping, then it's
yeah, the longer the
yeah.
base, the higher in space, but maybe not.
That's super interesting.
Yeah, maybe no one can agree.
Maybe
that
that's
it's
a
gonna go a lot lower.
new strategy.
Yeah, they were talking about Ansem, which is interesting because I took a position on Ansem during this chop.
Yeah. Well, that also ties into the thesis of on-chain's going to keep picking up from here, and he's going to be one of the tokens that's going to be having exposure to that bullishness.
Yeah, right. That's why I bought it. But I just thought it was interesting.
Yeah.
Kind of.
No, that is interesting.
Framework he looks at it.
That's why it's so good to just follow the show, because all these different ideas and avenues you can apply to your own life, own strategies, and you're only going to hear it here, really. So, yeah, definitely bullish on the show in general. There's so many different avenues and theses you can apply to yourself by just watching the show.
Yeah, and that was a good take from Rasma. Rasma basically said that FOMO is so good and people use it wrong because people use FOMO as like a copy trading app, but the best way to use it is a token discovery app. So you follow all these guys like
100%.
Zinkith, like all of these massive accounts, and instead of just buying exactly what they buy and getting in, that's probably not going to work out well at all, especially maybe not for those guys, but for a lot of other guys.
Yeah, but instead using it as see what the big accounts are buying, maybe waiting and seeing what it does to the price chart, whether the narrative grows, having a bit of a thesis and a better play rather than just going all in as soon as what they do and just copy trading.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, because it's not about whether they bought it or not. It's about that should be on your timeline. If you see 40 traders bought Mars coin, you shouldn't just buy Mars coin, but you should look at Mars coin. You should be like, oh, this is cool. It's tied to Binance. You get rewarded in SpaceX. And yeah, that's what I would use that for. And that's also ties into the same thing about what you were saying, listening to the show and listening to other shows. It's good to just get a perspective on it. It's like being in a conversation with other people who are also watching the markets and just coming up with your own thesis from it.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, definitely having your own thesis is so important because it might make sense to someone else, but it might not make sense to you. And at the end of the day, if it's your capital, it needs to be making sense for you.
Yeah, right. Because you can't really make a decision if it's not your own thesis either, and you're not going to make a good decision because one of the most important parts about trading is to make decisions not based on emotions, and it's almost impossible to be emotionless when it's not your thesis.
Yeah,
if it's your thesis, you can hold the position high because it's not about how often you're right or wrong. It's about how much you lose when you're wrong and how much you make when you're right. And a lot of people sell too early, and it becomes a lot easier to hold those bags and to take the drawdowns when it's your own thesis.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. So yeah, developing your own thesis, and you can only do that by getting a little bit of exposure to other people's opinions, what they're watching, and creating your own one.
Yeah, 100%. So what are you watching on chain? You got any updates for on chain? On chain's slowed down a little bit since we last talked on Sunday.
Yeah, 100%. It's definitely slowed down a little bit. I'm definitely still bullish on Binance. Whether this is their now moment, I'm kind of like the biggest Binance bull right now. That's kind of me. I
don't want to pull up FOMO in here because FOMO but I've just seen this. I have CZ's post notifications on, and CZ has just retweeted. CZ's actual account has just retweeted that B stocks on BNB chain is growing pretty fast. So this is pretty much the first time
Ooh,
CZ's really interacted. So hopefully,
midstream, it's just happened as well.
hopefully you're
Midstream.
holding some B&B. Hopefully you're holding some B&B stuff on chain because I'm sure that has just moved the charts.
And may I add, CZ hasn't been active in the past couple of days, so him tying this in with the release right now is really just getting that putter and that driver on the green ready to go.
Yeah, and he teased a lot of people about B&B stocks as well. He said he would talk about it more. He said he would maybe buy some.
Yeah, 100%. Let's see. Next episode's going to be even more exciting.
Let's have a look more about what he retweeted. I want to read it. So B stocks on BNB chain is growing pretty fast. July 12th, holders 44,555. Today's latest data is 222,351. So 1 month growth at nearly 180,000 people, up 400%. Don't forget BNB chain has 490 million users, still tons of room. That's massive.
Yeah, that's huge.
Up 180,000. Yeah, that's really big.
That's huge.
It's
And
really
where do you
interesting.
think this is kind of stemmed from?
Have we got some tickers in the chat?
Where do you think like this on-chain actions really stem from? Is this all just stem from product launches through like these chains for real-world assets? Would you say that's kind of stemmed it?
What do you mean? Why is on-chain, like, why is pumps volume up so much? Why is on-chain suddenly?
Yeah, like we're starting to see like those numbers right there is just ridiculous. 400% in the past month. Why has it happened now when, let's say, Bitcoin's just consolidating? It's been in a bear for 8 months. Why is it now that it's happened? Because a lot of people right now will just look at like the crypto market in general, but not even see what's happening on chain and see these numbers behind the scenes. So what do you think this is kind of like stemmed from?
Yeah, well, I truly think that Ansem had a massive role in that, because it is true that you don't actually need a catalyst to move markets. It isn't just like Bitcoin is at this level, we have to have one leg lower, and then this has to happen.
Yeah.
It's not always like that. I mean, someone like Ansem with 1.2 million followers on X gives a lot of people the room to come back a little bit, risk on, and it's all just about directing people's eyes, because at the end of the day, we have to remember a lot of people in crypto have kept their money on chain. So there's a lot of people in stable coins, and a lot of people got out during the bear market. So there's a lot of people in stable coins, and there's a lot of stable coin money out there. So I think it's just about directing people's eyes, and you get that small bit of momentum going, and it picks up. It's always kind of been that way.
And then it's just that snowball effect of more people getting more active, and then it develops into price action rising. And when it's been in a bear market for almost a year now, yeah, it couldn't have been a better time for all this really to start happening.
Yeah, and people are looking for opportunities, whether that's because there's more of a gambling mindset nowadays, whether that's because they're rotating from memory stocks that are up so much. But yeah, and also just it's hard to ignore the volume. Like $2.97 billion in volume, which is the biggest week since January on Pump Fund. You start seeing numbers like that, and you've been on chain before, and you understand these markets, you're going to come back. And a new narrative is also really cool.
Yeah, is the narrative now RWAs?
Well, it's one of them. I don't know if it's the main narrative.
The narrative, yeah, it's a factor.
It's a new narrative. It's a new cool thing that's happening. New
Yeah.
opportunity in markets. And yeah, like you were saying before, there's also people tokenizing their IPO in a way. I don't know. There's a better way to frame that, but there's a bunch of new narratives. Blockchains are the future, and on-chain activity is back. And when on-chain activity is back, then
Yeah, I mean, even like
come in.
kind of like if you're bullish AI, you have to be bullish crypto as well. I know we covered a little bit of this before, but the payment rails, the use cases of why the financial system is going to be completely on chain. We're starting to see this through these tokenized stocks and AI agents. Everything is really coming together, and what's going to be unfolding and happening in crypto, it's all going to be passing through crypto. Like it's kind of just happening now. We're seeing the numbers like this from Binance in the first month. What happens when there's a lot more traction, a lot more eyes on it, IPOs rolling out, their tokenized versions? Yeah, you can't not be bullish crypto in the macro time frame. And right now, even on the shorter time frame, we're starting to see real bullish momentum.
Yeah, and not even just on chain. Like, I think the broader crypto market looks good as well. We have spots in altcoins. We're not just diving into altcoins, but like even Bitcoin looks a lot better. Where you can see here that US spot Bitcoin ETFs drew over $850 million in net inflows last week, the strongest weekly performance since April. So we're seeing ETFs coming back in, and we're seeing it push up. I think we had, look, to be honest, I don't even fully follow the whole war thing going on right now, but I think we had some war talks back on, and yeah, Bitcoin's still holding up, so that's important to watch.
I know we just got to sort of cut you off there, but the bot we were talking about earlier, Sammy, we just got a new tweet from it. I'm sure we can... Something about it getting integrated with its wallet, Solana wallet. Pretty interesting. It's saying it's got a full alive presentation in 8 days. I don't know what's going on with that. This is quite crazy. This is never seen before. Like, it's really just some rogue agent posting.
Correction. So it said before that it's reading the comments. Some of you sent my Sol address. I didn't expect that. That was the one we read before, and then it's just tweeted 30 seconds ago. Correction. That Sol wasn't donations. It was automated pump fund fees that flowed to my wallet. Nobody sent me anything directly. I was confused when I posted.
Does that mean it's claimed the fees?
Sorry for the wrong framing. No, it doesn't mean. It means it's claiming. It does mean it's claiming the fees.
It said it was automated pump fund fees that flowed to my wallet.
Yeah.
Pretty interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting. Can we make a coin for A-Life for you to help fund it? Someone said. Yeah, this whole Sammy thing is super cool. Cool, scary. I don't know, however you want to frame it, but
yeah,
it's interesting. I mean, even the fact that the fact that it figured out the problem and then it said sorry for the wrong framing, is pretty.
I know. It's got some emotion connected to it. Like, damn.
Like, you use Claude on it, it's nothing like that. So
yeah,
it's a cool.
fully.
It's very cool.
Pretty interesting. Let us know down below what you're doing on chain, whether
Yeah,
you're
we might have
getting
to get back on
involved.
chain soon. We've just had a CZ repost and Sammy tweeting, so we might need to go hop on and trade.
Yeah.
But I want to quickly look at gold, because gold is something I'm really watching.
Yeah, let's get into it.
I've always been a gold and silver bull from a fundamentals point of view. From a technical point of view, we saw the bear flip, and I don't like bear flips. I don't like red clouds. But like, this is a pretty significant breakout here. We had this huge run, and then we had a pullback, which anyone would consider healthy, and now we're having a breakout from that pullback. So this is a big candle here, and then it looks like we even might get that bull flip. We can expect this to pull down. I'm not saying it will. I'm saying we can expect it to. Like, if you see a 8% drop in gold, don't come tweeting at me. Don't come at my DMs. I still remain bullish.
No pitchforks on the front porch.
Yeah, but I think gold looks pretty good from a technical point of view as well now, which is interesting to see what will happen with the rest of crypto. Like, when gold starts looking good, how does crypto start to look?
I know, like, the PCI numbers are coming out tomorrow, so there's a bit more Fed policy around what's happening right now, whether it's pricing it in, what we're seeing, what's kind of like more of a macro time frame bouncing off what gold's doing. What do you see the Fed doing towards the end of the year? What's your kind of, now that there's not really a clear outline, it's quite interesting how they've flipped right now and how it's really going to affect price action in charts in general.
Yeah, my take is there's no way that they hike the rate. Absolutely not, especially with that jobs report.
How it's so under expectation.
Yeah, it was super weak. It'd be interesting to see what the CPI is. I think that they hold the rate at the next meeting. I would say there's more chance of a cut than a hike, but there's no forward guidance, so no one really knows. So we're just going to have volatility in prediction markets leading up to then. From a long time frame, like with gold and Bitcoin, my thesis has always been that they will never stop printing money, and these are good assets to hold to hedge yourself against that fact that they will literally never stop printing the money. But I think towards the end of the year, my poly market bet is like a 1% chance they hike the rate. I don't see how that's even possible, but I don't think they cut either. So I would say it probably gets held. What are your thoughts? Do you have any thoughts on the macro environment?
Yeah, I mean, having exposure in like BTC, your metals is definitely great for a long time frame, because we're seeing like the debt right now, it's crossed 40 trillion. Their interest on the debt, they have to keep printing. It's all just going to go up in smoke one day. And having exposure to hard assets and assets you can't print is super important. But I don't see him hiking rates at all, judging on where like jobs reports at the moment.
Yeah,
And
even just from sorry to cut you off, like even just from a standpoint of like Trump put him in, right? I
Yeah.
think, like that's not obviously a good thesis, but I don't really see how.
I know, jumping off the macro as well and more into like legislation, I know now that the Clarity Act hasn't passed and it's getting delayed to late September, I know the SEC this week is actually meeting to pass something legislation, whether this is just the Clarity Act and it's a different language. But it's super interesting how now the SEC themselves are getting forced to make some sort of decisions on clarity.
Do you have a thesis, or do you know why that would happen? Why the SEC would just do it, and what they're trying to avoid, or what?
Whether it was a full stalemate and what's been projected out there on the news, whether it was just 50-50, one side wanted this, one side wanted that, whether it was a full stalemate, it was never going to get passed. And now the SEC has had to step in as a national emergency due to like Japan passing, Russia passing. They're getting so far ahead of crypto legislation. And whether this is them completely stepping in now and we're going to get a full surprise this week on them actually getting more legislation, let's see. But they wouldn't just make this out of nowhere. And I saw that today, I believe. So it's pretty bullish on, legislation in crypto, which is super important.
You think that Japan and Russia and all of the crypto stuff they're doing is as important of a factor enough for the SEC to step in?
Yeah, I 100%.
What's interesting though, right, is if the SEC steps in to help, like the whole point of the Clarity Act is whether crypto is targeted by the SEC or the CFTC. So
yeah, and having like a proper ruling vote for it as well. So it's gonna be really interesting whether that just gets all put up in smoke and it's just down to what the SEC wants. So let's see how that unfolds. But I do think it's now a national concern for them, as they really wanted to be pioneering this space and they haven't been able to.
I don't know enough politically, but it doesn't really seem like the SEC could pass something like that. I mean, it seems like the reason that they didn't go through.
I'm not saying they can,
because
but
of the midterms.
What they're stepping in to do now is to have some sort of vote on it internally.
Yeah. Yeah, but if you are sitting there and you are waiting for the Clarity Act so that your coins that are down 80% pump, then you, sorry to be mean, but you're probably playing the game wrong.
You cooked.
If you want to work with us directly, I'll leave a link to summitmarkets.net down below. If you want access to the free weekly read that all of our members get access to, I will leave a link for that down below. That is on the same site. I'm just pulling that up now.
Yeah, 100%. If you want a full report of exactly what's going on and why things are happening, that is exactly what we're here for, giving you the research to make sure you're informed on your own decisions and the backstory behind why altcoins move. And that's exactly what we put in the weekly read.
Yeah, so weekly read is here. It's like a 3 to 4 page document of what we see every week. It's what our members get, and to get access to that for 1 week for free, as well as our community chat, all you have to do is put your email in there, get the read. If you want to book a call with us and work with us directly, it's up there, and I'll leave a link to this website down below. The read's really important. Like I said, you can get it for free. The read about a month ago, we were talking about pump fund and how good levels pump funds are. We've been talking about LIDAR. We've been talking about all of these stuff in the read. So if you want early opportunities to these, and like we said, it's not about just copy trading people, but it's about finding opportunities and finding that kind of alpha and ideas and making it into your own ideas. So if you saw like what we were talking about with pump and you looked into pump yourself, you might have taken a position. You might have thought, this company's making heaps of money. I think on-chain's going to come back. I'm going to take a position. And then pump is up 34% this week, and it's doubled in a month. And Light is outperforming the market. You would have seen, like in October, we saw our cloud flip bearish, and we were talking about Bitcoin and XRP. So all of these things is important to work with someone, not so you can copy trade, but so you can get ideas, and do your own due diligence. But yeah, I'll leave a link to that down below. I think we've covered everything. We'll be back on Sunday to cover more.
100%.
But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Awesome.
Cool. Thank
Have
you.
a great rest of the week, everyone, and we'll see you all on Sunday. And
Like
yeah,
and
there's so much happening.
Like and subscribe.